Today I wanted to share my experience about using this RC car, the main pros and cons of this car. After using it for a long time, I can say that this car was, for me at least, a very durable one. I used it in very harsh conditions, in water, sand, mud, and with proper maintenance, it actually lasted for a long time. With time, there is a natural tear and wear. The plastic gears wear out. Here you can see that I have put here metal gear. Initially it had plastic gear here, and it was interacting all the time with this metal one. The manufacturer decided to use a metal gear on the electrical motor with the plastic gear on the shaft, and eventually this one was worn out. I used a spare part from another model which is identical to this one but is called Q901, and it worked fine, although as a result I got a combination of one plastic gear with another metal gear again. I saw that the plastic gear that I had here lasted for a long time being in contact with this metal, so I thought it shouldn't be a problem, and it doesn't actually. I can see that there is no tear and wear here. As soon as those gears contact well with each other and nothing gets in between, they work fine. But eventually, as I put a new gear here, this gear started to wear out. Although these gears are made of the same material, the electrical motor gears, after contacting with the plastic gears which I had here initially, also got worn out, and you can see that here it's not as thick as at this part. So when I put this new gear, half of this gear was actually contacting with the worn out part and with the less worn out part, and eventually this gear didn't resist much and also got worn out. The contact between them was lost, and now I have to order another one. And unfortunately I couldn't separate the gear from this electrical motor, so you have to buy the whole assembly, the gear with the electrical motor. That's a disadvantage and extra costs. Other parts work fine. You can see there's a shafts that move the wheels, they're all plastic, with these metal parts here to have contact with the joint here. You can see that it starts to play a little bit because this part is plastic, and as you drive the car forward and backwards, it starts getting loose, but it still resists the time. One of the weak points in this car is also the ball joints of the front wheel assembly, because you have to rotate the front wheels, and when you bump into the obstacles, it exerts a lot of force on this part. So with time, the manufacturer's bolts that are used to keep this joint inside of this arm don't serve a lot. I had to use another bolt to fix this problem. You can see that this ball joint in the end gets worn out so much that it pops out very easily. Another example how the plastic parts get worn out on this model is this one. For example, the more you hit the car into the walls or obstacles, this axle starts wearing out, and you can see that it now pops out of the hub. And what happens is that there are small pins on it which are plastic. They get so worn out that they start popping out when you hit a car into an obstacle. In normal driving condition, it's still drivable, no problem with that. So metal parts upgrade would be a good thing to do for this model. If you want to avoid these problems, there's a better alternative for this model, which is almost the same, and it's this one, which is called Q901, and the manufacturer is called Flyhal, but I think it's the same as Xinlehong. When you look at the description of the car, you can see that the parts here are metal. When you choose which car to buy, just check those small details on the pictures. You can see that this part here is metal, and you see that the remote control is the same. You can see that the shafts here are metal. You see it's metal here. So these are the small details to keep in mind if you want to have a more durable car. This also model comes with a brushless electrical motor, which has a better output. The picture on this car case is the same with the one I have here, and the manual looks the same, everything looks the same. It's just called and I market it with a different name now. And as a proof, here you can see the spare parts for the same model, which is Q901, and we can see that it's under the name Xinlehong, and the model that I have is called Xinlehong 9136. So this is the same manufacturer, but a different model with a different car case, but with better modifications. And to confirm that the parts here are metal, the most important ones, the moving parts are metal, you can check these ones. For example, the shafts are metal, the main moving shaft is metal, the transfer gears are metal, and the gears of the electrical motor are metal too. And what I like here is that the wheels are fixed to the shafts with nuts and not with the screws. I think it's a more practical solution. So if you want a better model, these are the details to look at when buying a new car.